Hi, welcome to this series on AngularJS. And these set of videos that you are watching is in add-on to what we discuss in classes, and the assignments will be discussed in the classes or via email. However, this is only a substitute for if you're not doing a session uh, live with the class or for some reason. So if you're watching it on YouTube, you may find that it's not complete in all sense, like you are not able to do the assignments. We don't share assignments and projects online on YouTube. Now in this AngularJS, starting with this, we will go through the basics and go to the point where we will be able to write sufficient code so that we can start working on AngularJS for Ionic 1. Now, let us go straight into our example, and in this example, let's look at a very simple HTML file, and then we'll discuss the details. Okay, we have a simple HTML file with a doc type HTML, and then you see that there's a script here. So I have a script which refers to this AngularJS, and then within the body, I have some special kind of presentations here, the statements which you have not seen in HTML. You would see that in the div I'm using an attribute. Normally we have not used any attribute in div. So you have ng-app attribute which has no value at all. Okay, with this understanding we'll just take it up. Okay, I'll copy this and I'll put it on my Visual Studio Code. Now I recommend that you create a folder, a new folder for this set of exercise on your file system, and then use open folder and open that folder here. I've done that. I've created a folder. I have no files here right now, so all my AngularJS files will be here. Okay, I create a new file by clicking here, and I'll call it the magic of Angular. .html. Okay, and it's an empty file. I'll just go ahead and I paste this code. Now it's very clear that I have a script which is pointing to some script online on googleapis.com, and it downloads this angular min.js. It links this JavaScript file. Okay, inside the div I have an ng-app and it adds up. Let's go ahead and run this on the live server. Okay, if you may not notice it, it's too small. However, you can see the difference here. You have the value 3. Now, what you may be wondering is why is it that we have, let me arrange this a bit. Yeah. And then that's a question. Why is it that it did not print the absolute text like this? It should, because it's a text, right, inside the div tag. For example, let me put another div tag and I'll put this is just a div, and I save that. See, it says this is just a div, and then inside it I will also go ahead and say I'll put like 1 plus 2. Okay, it just puts that. Even if I remove this text, if you're wondering, if then it is still 1 plus 2. And notice that here it is not 1 plus 2. Okay, now let's say we'll explain why it happens. So, HTML has been designed as a markup language. It is not designed to be a programming language. Had HTML been designed with the ability to do programming on the browser, this is what Google says. It would have been something like this. You can do a little bit of programming on HTML as well. So Google, who created this AngularJS, makes a statement that this had HTML be designed for the web, it would have been like this. And AngularJS does that. So we take the existing HTML with all the markup facilities and convert that into programming. When I say programming, you can notice that this is an expression. It evaluates to a value. So if you have 1 plus 2 or 1 times 2 or something like that, it's an expression. Okay, and the expression is valid only inside this. It is not valid inside this one, because here I'm using an attribute named ng-app. I'm not giving it any name, okay, any properties to it. That's okay. But as long as this attribute is present, attribute of div is present, it is an ng app. And attribute in these terms in the Angular we call it the directive. It's a directive of the div. Otherwise in HTML we call it as an attribute. Okay, just writing this isn't enough. It is actually related to this JavaScript file. So there's a JavaScript file that has been created, and now we'll go and see that. Okay, now we will go ahead and check the JavaScript file. Okay, in this slide, yeah, it's here. Let me open up, say, another file. Okay, I just took this URL and I put in here. Okay, I just copied that URL from the code and I pasted it here, and you see a long list of JavaScript file which probably will not be able to understand is here. Now I do a little change to this. I just go ahead and remove the min dot. So it is now AngularJS only. The min word and the dot is gone. Now I reload it. Now this is a little better. It is more formatted. It is more readable. Now I want you to think what is the difference. There is a min.js and there's a normal angular.js. So what's the difference here? The difference is the minified version has removed the white spaces, comments, and other stuffs that does not mean anything to the browser. However, the regular one, it is more readable. It's for human. Yeah. So you can see that there is a lot of function defined here. It's a JavaScript file, and because of this, we can now use our HTML as if we can do programming in it. What you should do now is go ahead and open up this file in your browser and try to see if you can understand. Most likely will not understand and will not even need to understand this JavaScript file. All that we need to know is few things that we need to use in our HTML and our JavaScript that we write. We will not try to understand this JavaScript file in itself, but it's good thing to go and have a look at it. Okay. Now in the next video we'll understand how to use it in a more wider way, right? In the way it has been designed. Thank you.